And talking about threats from China, Canada has been rocked by a major scandal. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is under the lens once again. The opposition wants to know if Trudeau got re-elected with China's help.
The revelations that the communist regime in Beijing has targeted for influence and supported Justin Trudeau over a decade are massive.
That's Pierre Poilievre. He's the leader of opposition in Canada, and he's talking about this. Last week, the Trudeau Foundation returned a donation. It was worth 200,000 Canadian dollars. The Trudeau Foundation got it 7 years ago, and this money is potentially linked to China. We are talking about the Pierre Trudeau Foundation here. It was established in the year 2001 to honor Pierre Trudeau, the former Prime Minister of Canada, also Justin Trudeau's father. Now, Justin Trudeau became Prime Minister in the year 2015. And this donation was made in the year 2016. Where did the money come from? A man called Zhang Bin, a wealthy Chinese businessman, also said to be an advisor to the Chinese government. Apparently, Zhang was acting on the orders of Beijing. The charge is that the Communist Party ordered Zhang to make that donation to the Trudeau Foundation. And what's the proof? There is none so far. The Trudeau Foundation says it wasn't aware of Zhang's links. Let me quote from a statement that they've released. As an independent, non-partisan charity, ethics and integrity are among our core values, and we cannot keep any donation that may have been sponsored by a foreign government and would not knowingly do so. This is what their statement said as they returned the money, but the statement doesn't really cut it. And the story is not dying, because China did try to meddle in Canada's elections, not once, not twice, but multiple times. The list of charges and allegations is a long one. China secretly funded political campaigns in Canada. 11 candidates who ran in the 2019 election got Chinese money. The money came from China's consulate in Toronto. In 2021, China tried pumping more cash. Undeclared donations were made to political campaigns. International Chinese students were hired, and they were also asked to volunteer full-time in political campaigns. And in the 2019 election, a candidate may have been compromised. Trudeau's party, the Liberals, were even warned about this. That same candidate is now a member of parliament in Canada. His name is Han Dong. Both Trudeau and Han deny these charges.
In a free democracy, it is not up to unelected security officials to dictate to political parties who can or cannot run. That's a really important principle. We, of course, draw on the expertise every step of the way. But the suggestions we've seen in the media that CSIS would somehow say, no, this person can't run or that person can't run, is not just false, it's actually damaging to people's confidence in our democratic and political institutions.
Trudeau was talking about the Canadian Security Intelligence Service, or CSIS here. Apparently, it uncovered these Chinese meddling attempts. Those reports were leaked to the media, and that's how the entire scandal erupted. So has democracy in Canada been compromised? Like I said, no hard evidence so far, but reports say that in all of these cases, China was engaged in covert meddling attempts. The candidates were unaware of Chinese activities in some cases, and Chinese diplomats used proxies to meddle. Now an investigation is underway. It is being led by the Canadian Parliament. But the opposition is not satisfied. They want an independent and public inquiry. And this man complicates the story. His name is Maurice Rosenberg. He's a former civil servant. Rosenberg also served as the Trudeau Foundation's president, and recently he led a review of Canada's election process. Do you know what his report said? That the 2021 election result in Canada was not influenced. Now, to be fair, he's called for a public inquiry into the meddling charges, but Trudeau has been reluctant. He doesn't want a public inquiry. And critics don't trust Rosenberg's conclusions. They say that a man who worked for the Trudeaus cannot be unbiased in his report. So Rosenberg's ties to the Trudeau Foundation discredit his work. Then in November last year, Trudeau had a public spat with the Chinese president, Xi Jinping. You may remember this. The two leaders met at the G20 summit in Indonesia. Canada is believed to have raised the meddling charges. The next day, the press reported the details. Apparently, the Chinese did not like that.
不合适，
Everything we discuss is then leaked to the paper. That's not appropriate.
而且我们也不是那样进行的。没有
And that's not how the way the conversation was
如果
conducted.
有诚心，咱们就用互相尊重的态度来进行很好的沟通，
If there is
否则这个结果就不好说了。
if
In
there is
Canada, we
sincerity
believe
on
in
your part,
free and open and frank dialogue, and that is what we will continue to have. We will continue to look to work constructively together, but there will be things we will disagree on, and we will have
有
to
些可以
continue.
建设性，但是
创造条件，创造条件。
Let's create the conditions first.
好。
Since that day, there's been a steady stream of media reports. All of them cast a shadow of doubt on Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister, on his victory in the last election and how he has handled this entire affair so far. Apparently, Trudeau was briefed about the meddling, but he's yet to present his version. He keeps questioning what's being reported in the media. He says some of those claims are not right. But if Trudeau has done no wrong, why is he avoiding scrutiny? Why doesn't he share the full story? The silence does not help him.